You're on Team Human, conscious intervention in the machine. An opportunity to see through the facade of certainty to the magical, unpredictable creativity driving our collective experience. Some call it agency, others call it true will, but we just call it life. It's time to intervene on our own behalf. I'm Douglas Rushkoff, and you're on Team Human. Team Human is made possible by Everyone's Earth, the maker of Kobe dryer sheets and a growing line of sustainably sourced and manufactured products that are also completely 100% biodegradable. Yes, your wash cycle can now also be a part of the cycle of life. Moreover, in addition to supporting a company that's actually trying to fix the Procter & Gamble nightmare in which we've become enmeshed, you'll be supporting this show. And as a Team Human Insider, you can also get a 10% discount on Everyone's Earth by using the discount code RUSH10. How's that? People have been asking why we're engaging with so many weird topics lately. I've had a number of magic experts and practitioners on the show this year, as well as people working with plant medicines, indigenous wisdom, and the whole array of occult and countercultural spiritual crafts and practices. You've been no more likely to hear a conversation about media technology or bioregionalism than one on retrocausality, simulation theory, or sex magic. And I've seen a few comments on our YouTube asking why we're so into this esoteric stuff right now, particularly when the world is facing so many real, on-the-ground, actual challenges. Genuine violence, starvation, suffering, slavery, abuse in the moment. Loss of cultures, languages, species, habitats. Colonialism, not just as some abstract concept, but an ongoing exploitation taking ever new forms, disguising itself as populism while it breaks what's left of civics, a social safety net, or international cooperation. And even though there are occasional setbacks to the twin monsters of authoritarianism and neoliberalism, the war between the two only distracts us from the rapidly accelerating crises threatening us all. Things seem hopeless. I get that. And some of the most informed environmentalists I know say we're past the point of no return. The political science scholars I know argue the world has tipped toward at least a half century of globally dominant dictatorships. My fellow media and technology theorists think AI is going to destroy human cognition and psychological coherence, whether or not artificial general intelligence is ever achieved. The collapse of civilization as we know it seems not only inevitable, but like it may have already happened. That we're already over the edge of the cliff, noticing the wind rushing by around us as we descend, and maybe just mustering the courage to look down. So how, facing this urgent, inevitable certainty of, at best, crisis, but more likely doom, how am I here offering such a diet of weird along with substance? Isn't this more a moment for me to step up as the professor of media theory and digital economics instead of a psychonautically informed hope fiend? But it's precisely the urgency and inevitability of our situation that calls for us to shake something loose, see things differently, call to the outliers. If all of our most logical faculties or our standard tools for evaluating our situation point to bad outcomes, then maybe we need to employ some non-standard tools. And that's even more than I'm asking for here, above and beyond the mere supposing I'm trying to initiate. I'm not asking we get all the way, to figuring out our best new strategies right here and right now. I'm just asking us to achieve the preconditions. Let's even get to a place of psychosocial readiness. And that's not so easy to do when it feels like we're staring through the windshield of a car accelerating toward a concrete wall. The closer you get, the more the wall fills your field of vision until that's all there is. That's the feeling right now between National Guard deployments calculated to provoke fear or anger, economic policies structured to force farmers into foreclosure while transferring another few $1 trillion of collective wealth to the top 0.1%, or America's withdrawal from any form of global collaboration over energy, health, or pollution. Right? The resulting state of fear and paralysis is an intentional byproduct, something like shock and awe, but really just traditional psyops, the psychological operations that one country would carry out on a population of its adversary in a war to soften their resolve or distract them from good warring, right? Keep the people in a state of panic until they go numb if necessary, or better, get them to direct the fear and anger against others. Just help them find someone else to hurt more than they do, or to blame for the imminent collision. There is no future, only a past when things were better and to which we can somehow return. When people are in a state of trauma or bad PTSD, their eyes lock in. That's what EMDR therapy is all about, where they have the patient follow LEDs with their eyes left and right while thinking about the traumatic event. It loosens up their eyes and correspondingly loosens up their brain to look at the story in other ways, to change their relationship to what happened. Put some play in the wheel. Leave things up for reinterpretation. It unlocks the trauma so it can be metabolized and transformed from a psychic scar of trapped energy into possibilities, new potentials. That's the same thing these magical moments, these inklings of awe, reconnections to each other, or the divine, or the everything. That's what they do. They're like the déjà vu that helps Neo recognize a glitch in the Matrix, or when Katniss shoots an arrow at the sky in Hunger Games to reveal it's just a dome. Despite all evidence to the contrary, there is a way out, or better, through. All you have to do is tilt the picture a new way so you can distinguish between the actual limits and those that have been imposed by people and institutions who don't want us to even try. Either because they think it's not possible or because it will undermine their own efforts to exploit widespread doom for their own self-interest. So they use media, religion, economics, and even hard evidence to lock down the inevitability of doomsday, all while building spaceships, underground shelters, and arks of the covenant, I kid you not, for their own escape. Whether we are mentally trapped in a simulation or a propagandistically curated wall of facts, we need to be able to consider alternatives, to unlock our gaze and free up our minds. And these strange but increasingly common and provable phenomena, from autistic kids demonstrating ESP on the telepathy tapes, to the practical magic of Mitch Horowitz, to the demonstrated retrocausality theories of Rod Sutherland, or Julian Barber showing that half of time since the Big Bang is going backwards, they crack open the mind for a moment of possibility. They make us go, huh? If 100 people take a test and then 50 of them are told to study for the test after it's over, those people will end up having done better on the test? Huh? The studying somehow trickles backward through time? I know, half of you already don't believe me, and even that's fine. Just wrapping our heads around this Mobius strip of possibility flips a switch. It's like when you show a dog something it doesn't understand and it tilts its head to the side as if it'll understand things better looking from a different angle, huh? Right? It's that state we want to go for, that place of confusion, of living in between the inevitabilities, suddenly uncommitted to a reality tunnel and willing to choose or even create a new one. It's not fantasy, but rather, is there a better way of framing what I'm experiencing now? Reframed, like at the end of a movie when they flash back through all the moments and now you understand differently? Or even before that part, when you have a new frame, the space of possibility, of being able to suppose anything, just suppose, just open your mind, open your skull, right? How long can you hold that without succumbing to terror? Hold on to the truth that no one knows what the fuck is going on here, what made us, what we are here for, why there's so much pain and suffering. What if? It's hard to hold on to that. Usually when people get zapped into this place, when the surface illusion of one of the prevailing systems of thought is pierced, we rush to create some new sense and flip into hardened religion or conspiracy theory. And that's when I found Jesus, or that's when I knew they were out to get us. And that's just as debilitating as being trapped in the original hopeless conundrum. You have the moment of opportunity, but then surrender it to the first fantasy or nightmare that comes along, like a person succumbing to a bad trip, or one of those first scary bardos along the way to the white light. That's MAGA world, poor things, with 5G towers and nano-vaccines controlling behavior, Jewish space lasers, HAARP weather station-induced earthquakes, or Venezuelan remote election hacking. And that stuff isn't even as weird as actual remote viewing or dark matter, interdimensional travelers, or shooting a fly out of the air with my fingers. It's in another one of these videos. That state of openness, it's hard to maintain. There's many casualties of learning to see. Fallen fellow travelers, from Russell Brand to Naomi Wolf to Alex Jones. They went too quickly from huh to aha, right? Pointing the finger at their new villains, too secure that they know what's going on, and replacing wonder with worship of one kind or another. The current neo-fascist, techno-feudalist, billionaire, oligarchic simulation has no tolerance for the weird or wonderful. The premise of their escape plans, their sealed-off eco-villages and Mars colonies and eugenic civilizations, is that they can account for everything. The ventilation, the soil matrix, the social codes, the diet, the water treatment. Environmental disaster is the excuse, but the aspirations are the same. America 2.0, hatched ex nihilo, as if from nothing, and more important, accounting for everything. No surprises, no wiggle room, no magic, no women for that matter, just robots and little girls. There's no magic to it. Everything has to be figured out. Vertical farming, regenerative systems, as if the complexity can be recreated from a sterile starting place more easily than tweaked back into balance right here in the real world. No, pave over the living planet and live above it, as if a moss could grow on a plastic-sheathed tree trunk, or a gut biome can thrive on packaged protein powders. And it never works. No matter how well they lay down their foundation, there's always cracks in the pavement, and something sprouts through it, unaccounted for, alive in spite of everything. Reality is weirder than these simulations. Weirder and better and more powerful and sustainable and regenerative and sexy and fun. Yeah, fucking is even more fun than blowing up a Venezuelan fishing boat. I promise you it is. I've never blown up a Venezuelan fishing boat, but I know in my bones it's not as much fun as good sex, or singing in the shower, or rolling in the grass, or seeing the stars. I feel certainty about that. But that's besides the point. All I'm trying to get across here is that when things seem impossibly bad or inevitable, consider the impossible. Challenge the evidence. Find the cracks in the pavement. Tilt your head to the side like a dog and welcome the state of confusion. Embrace the absurdity and stop making sense for long enough to actually sense what's happening here. Thanks for being on Team Human. If you get value from this show, please subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you get your stuff. Share us with your friends, hit the like button, and if you want to become a member of the team, please support the show by going to teamhuman.fm or Patreon and clicking on support. You'll get the ad-free version of the show, invites to our Discord and live events, transcripts of these monologues, and more. Team Human is recorded at MCM Studios, produced by Joshua Chapdelaine, and sponsored by Everyone's Earth. I'm Douglas Rushkoff, and you've been on Team Human, our last best hope for peeps. I want you to understand why these aren't just a silly product that's like a little bit better. It's the guy, Tom, who makes these dryer sheets is thinking about the whole thing. So like the labor that makes it, how they grow the cotton, how they put this together. You know, you can have like a nice, totally organic cotton t-shirt and it says organic and wonderful, but the manufacturing of that thing uses all these chemicals and all this waste and all this crap. They make these things with that perfect little cotton, but then they have a new process to fabricate the cotton so it doesn't put all that crap. And then when you get it, you get this thing that's like not bad. You just put it in the washer and use it as a dryer sheet, and you take it, you throw it away like with your friggin' compost. It's like and it biodegrades, and it's this kind of perfect cycle of life thing. And that's the difference between this and his change diapers that he's coming out with soon and all these other products, is that they're actually sort of end-to-end part of the regenerative cycle and not just, greenwashed, oh, this is good for the world.
That's beautiful.